Hello and welcome to Spark Joy Astrology. This is the astrology for Saturday, August 5th and Sunday, August 6th. Normally I show up on Saturdays to give you the astrology and give myself Sundays off. But friends, there was only one exact aspect that went down yesterday, and there's a whole bunch going down today. So I thought I'd show up on the potent day of the weekend and give you the exact aspects on the day. I find that when I tune into the actual energy of the day and give you the videos, they're a bit more potent. So let's dive into the energy waves of the prior days, because yesterday we only worked with one exact aspect, but we were working with aspects that had already come into exact alignment, but are still in close enough range to where we are definitely still feeling them. And the first one we're going to talk about is Pluto squaring the nodes. This is going down until September 3rd. We are feeling it, friends, and we have been feeling it for a while. This is big. This is integrating a past issue, a skipped fate step in which was challenging for us to face in the past, maybe even a past life. But we've been really working to integrate this, to work on this deep inner transformation, this power up, friends. Our second aspect really also blends itself to this power up. It happened on July 30th, as far as being exact, but we are feeling it all the way until August 9th. And so you've heard me talking about it. It is our Black Moon Lilith squaring Uranus. These two are definitely helping to drive this self-love revolution that Venus retrograde is working on in Leo. Black Moon Lilith is also in Leo, and she is having us look at where we need more freedom in our relationships, where we need to evolve into our sovereign selves. So very important aspect that is helping us to look at those deep things bubbling up. Maybe that's part of what needs to be integrated in the skipped step with Pluto. All right, another aspect that actually comes exact today on Sunday, but we started feeling it yesterday, is the Sun square Jupiter. I'm going to leave the whole analysis of it later, because I will actually speak to it when it actually happens tonight, which is at 6:03 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time. But just a little teaser of that energy. What we are feeling is this conflict between our practical sides and our dreamer sides, and feeling the excitement of what we want versus knowing what we need. So there is this tension between our inner self and our outer self about getting big, friends, and taking up space. So that's just your little teaser. We'll dive deeper into it later on. But first, let's talk about what went down exact-wise on Saturday. We had our sun and our moon making a trine aspect. The sun being in Leo, where Venus retrograde is happening, as well as Black Moon Lilith hanging out. But from this heart place of Leo, the sun was making a trine to the moon in Aries. So we have two fire signs that these yin and yang characters are hanging out in. So there's definitely some fiery passion available in the cosmos on Saturday evening. Blessings and opportunities around the ability to expand, to grow, and to evolve into the flow of the cosmos. A trine really helps us to find blessings in our lives and benevolent energy, but it is harmonious expansion energy. So with the moon and the sun, our yin and yang in this trine, we are really able to get balanced from within, so that we can shine that outward and allow the mirror of our relationships to mirror that balance back. I actually had a really beautiful date last night with my partner. We have this great book, I can't remember what it's called, the Adventure Date Book, I believe, where you scratch out, you don't know what you're going to get into, but you just know the title and a few little details. So you scratch out what the date is, and then you have to go on it. And my partner and I, we scratched off this one that asked us to go to a thrift store, pick out an outfit for our partner where we can't see what each other is picking out, and then pick out a new name for them, and then go on a date in public where we have to call each other the other name, and we're wearing ridiculous clothes. And it was so much fun and free, and I laughed so hard every time we had to talk to anyone because we just looked ridiculous, friends. It was so much fun, but it really lends itself to the aspect that is exact tomorrow on the 7th around 9 p.m., but we're starting to feel it. It's an engagement today on Sunday, and it holds true until August 9th, the same day that Black Moon Lilith squaring Uranus ends, which this has been working with us for so many days now that it's kind of beautiful that these two energies phase out together. So what this is, friends, is Venus retrograde in Leo conjunct Black Moon Lilith in Leo. They come together tomorrow at 23 degrees. But what's beautiful about this aspect that is percolating is that the moon checks in intimately with Venus retrograde and Black Moon Lilith today, but not before she checks in with Chiron. So we're really working to heal today, friends, and to step into our independent, sovereign self so that we can truly love our partners and our people around us with a full heart. All right, so Black Moon Lilith conjunct Venus retrograde. This is beautiful energy to bring in opportunities to embark on unconventional ways of love. Black Moon Lilith is getting into our instinctual nature. The story of Black Moon Lilith is really powerful. Lilith was married to Adam prior to Eve. She was made of the same stuff that Adam was, so they were equals. She was not made from his rib like Eve was. So right off the bat, we have two sovereign beings equally showing up in a relationship. Well, friends, there started some power struggles, and really the biggest power struggle and what broke them up was sexual relations. She wanted to be on top, friends, and he was not having it. And you know, what happened with her is that she had to face shame from him. She had to face deep gross feelings when it came to her sexuality because she was feeling this repressed energy from him. So she chose to leave. She chose to actually go into hell and into Hades, where the underworld, she felt so much more connected to the earth and sovereign, only able to make her own choices here. And so she did actually have intimate relations with demons in Hades and had demon babies, and was a very powerful character, very much in tune with her instincts, right, and her desirous nature. And she was able to transmute the shame and the guilt that Adam put on her and really live this free and sovereign life. So she represents this sexual energy, friends, tantra, the wild woman nature within us. So this beautiful sensuality is available to us. And with Venus retrograde, we are really working to look at our shames, our pains, our fears when it comes to how we show up in a relationship, and maybe release some of that with this union of these two characters together. Or maybe we don't have the ability to release it yet because we have to do some internal work. But what happens at 6:47 a.m. on Sunday morning, and this is Mountain Daylight Time, is that our moon comes to 19 degrees of Aries and finds Chiron, who's been hanging out at 19 degrees of Aries for a long time, friends, and actually went retrograde there on July 23rd. So we've been really working with this degree, and how funny that my sun is at this degree in Aries. So I've been really working on wounds and pains and healing them and becoming a teacher of them. And I feel this empowering energy around teaching all about sex and love and relationships. I'm actually married to marriage and family therapist, and he's also a sex therapist, and so these are things that I'm really passionate about myself. So here we go, friends. Let's dive into what this means for you, though. We are really getting in touch with past pains, past traumas. When the moon blends with Chiron, we're able to see them as a unifying force, really actually helping us. These pains empower us when we're able to work through them, to alchemize them, and to integrate them. So we're finding this nurturing charge up energy, how we've been able to learn and upgrade and become the teacher of these pains. And at 1:07 p.m. Mountain Daylight time, the moon moves to 23 degrees of Aries and trines Black Moon Lilith at 23 degrees of Leo. This is where Venus will retrograde tomorrow and actually join Black Moon Lilith. But this Black Moon Lilith energy is having us look at the taboo, our deep desires in relationships, our instincts for what we really know we need, friends. And with this trine, it's a welcome glimpse into these things. There's less fear here when maybe possibly other times there's a lot of fear. So we have this powerful sorceress energy to step into our sovereignty, and really it's sexy energy, friends, because the moon is in Aries and Venus retrograde is in Leo, two fiery, passionate signs. There can really be a lot of fun in today's energy, a lot of sexy energy, friends. This is why I had to make this video today, because being a girl with a stellium in Taurus, I love the sensual energy. Okay, at 2:35 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time, the moon moves from 23 degrees of Aries and goes to 24 and makes the trine to Venus, because Venus and Black Moon Lilith are right next to each other. So this is some tenderness, some love, and some connection, friends. And because Venus is retrograde, shining that inward for this self-love revolution, this tenderness towards ourself. But also Venus retrograde can bring in past partners, past relationships that still need some healing. We're always working with a spiral of energy and lessons we come back to, we revisit. So if there are past partners where there's stuff that needs to be worked out karmically, we're going to come back to them in a Venus retrograde. So you may have some feelings around past partnerships show up today. This is a recalibrating time, right? We've been looking at the pains, Chiron. We've been looking at fears and shame, Black Moon Lilith, and we've been alchemizing them through these beautiful conjunctions and trines. So here's another trine and this ability to find balance. It's obtainable, friends. You know, we're really able to step into our Black Moon Lilith power. And with this, we move into the next aspect at 6:03 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time. I already gave you a little teaser, but this is the sun at 14 degrees of Leo. Hello, Leo. So much Leo heart activation happening, squaring Jupiter in Taurus. This started yesterday. We felt it on the 6th. It's coming into exactness today. And then we'll hold strong until tomorrow, the 7th. But this is big, friends. This is wanting us to get big. The sun represents our vitality, our life path, our purpose, our yang energy. And the Jupiter energy is expansive. It's teacher, it's wise guru energy. So we do have the ability to find a teacher in these next few days that may gravitate towards us to help us really expand into our highest self. There is benevolence available when Jupiter's there, so optimism is definitely a part of this. The sun representing our life path and Jupiter, this expansive energy, can definitely bring in promotions into our life. So it's a lovely energy. But on the other spectrum, we can deal with some grandiosity, some ego inflation, and also father challenges. We have a square here, so this does bring in tension, and the sun also represents our fathers in our charts. So there could be some tension around expanding and having the father judge you, or the opposite, wanting you to expand and you're not pushing yourself. So that's more of the challenging things. But Jupiter is definitely a benevolent character. So whenever there's even a square happening with Jupiter, it's usually for the best. So really what we might be asking ourselves here with this square is, are we playing too small? Do we need to get big, friends? And if we do, how can we identify why we are playing small? Maybe it has something to do with those past pains. But this is permission to get big, to be you, to take up space. This battle between staying small and big is asking us to get big now, friends. These next few days, we can pull in expansive awesomeness. And the next aspect also lends itself to this expansive bigness. At 8:45 p.m. And actually between 10:02 p.m., the moon moves to conjunct the north node, which means it's opposite the south node. So this particular aspect is bringing in a connection with our emotional nature, our intuitive self, to the north node, which is also the moon's nodes. We are working with a lot of lunar energy. So this is asking us to bring in our emotional self, the moon, into balance with our intuitional self, the south and north nodes. This balance allows us to calibrate us towards our future flow. This is where we might be asked to set boundaries. You know, we have, actually, I'm going to go back a little bit. The Black Moon Lilith and Venus conjunction in Leo that goes down at tomorrow exactly, at around 8:45 p.m. This particular Sabian symbol, like rounding up to 24 degrees of Leo, says an untidy, unkept man. And when diving into research on what other people felt that meant, because sometimes I have a hard time with these particular symbols, but this one really honed into tension around values, right? An untidy, unkept man, maybe a homeless man sitting in the corner, where the tension around values, right? This man, is he contributing to society, those value systems that we have set in place? There is definitely some self-refinement energy with this Sabian symbol. So with Black Moon Lilith and Venus retrograde here, we are being asked to have some complete self-confidence, right? Black Moon Lilith, and being untidy, unkept in a world where we have these specific societal expectations in place. So how do we completely step into our self-confidence, uncaring about what others have as far as judgment of us? It's freedom, friends, and it's so much reflected on Black Moon Lilith squaring Uranus, right? This anti-conformist attitude, this uniqueness that we all have within us, without regard of society's expectations. This is the energy we're working to integrate this day, friends. Next couple days, actually. All right, and the moon coming into conjunction with the north node and south node, well, conjunction with north node, opposite south node, is really pushing us into creating the boundaries around ourselves to be able to step into our highest self without regard to society's boxes that keep us very tame. Black Moon Lilith wants us to explore being untamed, friends. Okay, so checking in with some boundaries there, but now we move into some bit more challenge with the moon at 28 degrees of Aries. We're getting to the end here of Aries, squaring Pluto, retrograde in Capricorn at 28 degrees. This goes down at 10:12 p.m. and this is some purging, some emotional catharsis. Again, we had to work on some boundaries with our moon conjoining the north node. So this is where maybe some of those boundaries, those deep feels of our heart, are now having to release, to let go, to cry it out perhaps. But this is definitely some intense, deep analysis at the end of the evening, friends. Our moon then quickly goes into void at 10:13 p.m. where she's not making any aspects for a while. So we have some time to settle into this purge, this catharsis, this up level into our sovereign, independent self. The moon actually moves into Taurus and on Monday at 12:24 a.m. So we work with our moon in the last bits of Aries till the end of the day this evening. So friends, with this moon in Aries, we are initiating this up-level, confident self. So I am just sending you so much love, so much light, and also the ability to look at the shadow side, the darkness side of yourself, so that you can fully step into your empowered Black Moon Lilith, sovereign, sexy self. Yes, yes, yes. The beautiful part that I wanted to share with you is a podcast. My partner, when I was driving back from Steamboat the other day, sent me a podcast. And now that you know that he is a studier of all things erotic and partnership-wise, he sent me an incredible podcast that I think is really illuminating the energies that we're working with this retrograde Venus conjuncting Black Moon Lilith in Leo, the sign of the heart. So I'm going to leave that in the description for this video so that you can go and watch that video on YouTube. It was awesome, and I just wanted to share it with you because it's so in tune with the energy that we're riding, friends. So with that being said, sending you oh so much love on this Sunday. Mwah.